British Airways is one of the UK's most visible brands. It sells Britishness as a mark of quality. Some passengers are happy to part with small fortunes to fly in its first class.
A one-way fare is just over $10,000.
But in the last decade, the business has faced financial crisis. Today, more people fly EasyJet than BA.
We all fly to the same destinations, so what can we do to stand out?
As the airline reaches a turning point, our cameras have been allowed unique access to its inner world. From the top-level decisions.
We're not as big in China as we should be, so getting this right is very important.
To the daily challenges of its global operation.
552 rows back on stand to offload a passenger who's having a panic attack.
We've been following some of the airline's 40,000 staff.
Do you know what the pressure is on?
As they work to meet exacting standards.
Very disappointing.
In this episode, we'll reveal how they manage their massive overseas operations.
You don't want to be scary to your team, but, you know, sometimes you have to be.
And brave the weather in New York.
This is quite severe. We're expecting anything up to 10 to 12 inches of snow.
For the cabin crew, it's make or break as they enter the final phase of their training.
Is that the proper way to taste wine, by making that sound?
And the airline opens a new route to China. Saturday afternoon in London's Chinatown. The airline's trying something different.
There you go. Sweet taste of success.
Fortune cookies.
We have to be quite selective with the cookies because we've only got a limited number. So ideally, we'd rather give them to people who live and work in the UK as opposed to tourists.
They're not trying to muscle in on crispy duck and takeaways.
Do you speak Mandarin?
They're here to lure new staff to crew a new route to China.
And we are recruiting Mandarin-speaking cabin crew for our new route to Chengdu in China, starting in September. Have you ever thought of becoming cabin crew? No? Can you teach me any more Mandarin?
Yes, of course. I in UK also teach small kids.
Okay.
For speaks Mandarin. I is teacher.
Okay. And tell your daughter to get in touch soon.
Okay. Definitely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Emerging from a difficult decade, the airline's looking to the future.
And does any of your family speak Mandarin?
And for any business that wants to expand, China is the fastest growing market in the world. There are now more than 1 million millionaires in China, the highest concentration outside of America. For an airline looking to fill its first and business class cabins, it's a potential bonanza. Already flying to Beijing, Hong Kong and Shanghai, the company's chosen Chengdu as its fourth destination in China. At Chengdu's Shangliu Airport, 42-year-old Wyman Can is in charge of flying the flag for the new operation.
Looks very nice. Looks very stylish.
It's spelled okay?
Yes, it's spelled okay. The fonts are okay. The wording's okay. Very nice.
A Hong Kong native, but educated in Essex, Wyman is one of the airline's most experienced airport managers.
As you can see, we're testing the fit screens as well. BA88 is being displayed. BA88 being the flight from Chengdu to London. And 88 is an auspicious number in the Chinese numbering system. It signifies wealth, so hopefully prosperity for British Airways and for our customers.
Wyman has a challenge on his hands. In the race to compete in the Chinese market, the company is behind. Lufthansa and Air France have 3 times the amount of seats flying to mainland China. Even Finnair has more capacity than BA.
All our contractors, it'll be the first time they see the aircraft and service the aircraft, so things will probably be much more slower than normal.
With the opening of the Chengdu route just weeks away, he urgently needs to cut through the red tape.
I think there's been some misunderstandings with the way Kuehne + Nagel normally fill paperwork in and the way it was expected to be filled in by Chengdu.
Okay. Doing business in Hong Kong is much more straightforward than in Chengdu. They don't tend to think out the box as we would do in Hong Kong. So sometimes yes is spelled N-O.
Everything the airline does in the airport, from cleaning to catering, from check-in to baggage, is Wyman's responsibility. With his deputy, Benny Wong, he must also check the lounges are up to the expectations of the airline's most particular passengers. And he's worried that this one is not up to scratch. And some of the food on display may challenge Western palates.
We will be sprucing up the food offering. At the moment, it's all very local. They have duck's tongue.
While the airline is looking to the future with Chengdu, no destination represents its past and present as keenly as New York. The airline's been ferrying high flyers to the Big Apple since the 50s.
You'll meet people rather like yourself. Most of them are men with an interesting job to do, and most of them are approaching the top of the tree. Useful people to get to know.
Today, New York retains the highest concentration of billionaires in the world. And with London not short of super rich either, the airline's route across the Atlantic, known as the Blue Ribbon, is its biggest money spinner.
You see, it's too short, so I'll be retying that.
The company's top man at New York's JFK Airport is Alan Ely. He has his own distinctive sense of style.
Pink is an iconic part of an Alan outfit. The purple's nice, little dotty goes a long way. I absolutely think it's vital to bring a little colour into the world. When I go in my wardrobe, or closet as we say over here in the States, usually there's something black, there's something blue, or there's something grey. I bring the colour into the world with my personality, and then I add a tie for good measure.
Alan started as cabin crew and worked his way up through the ranks in the company over 23 years.
I know that boys dream of being pilots. I always wanted to be a flight attendant, or cabin crew as we call it in England. I always wanted to be the person interacting with the people that are going on holiday, because those people are always so happy. I think I have quite a critical eye, and I ask all of my staff to walk around with a critical eye. We have to be looking at everything that the customer's going to see and experience, and also everything that our staff are going to experience when they're in their work environment.
British Airways Terminal 7 at JFK is special. It's the only US terminal run by a non-American airline. With the eyes of the business very much on him, Alan's managerial style is as fastidious as his suits.
You'll see me walking along and doing things like this, and that is literally to just get the scuffs off the floor, because when you then step into the environment, it looks nicer. You'll see me do that and don't think it's strange. I feel like I'm responsible for it, and if things are not as they should be, I feel personally disappointed. Sorry. And it's not, they're not coming off, so I have to call our maintenance providers and they'll come up and buff the floor up.
Every little detail counts in an operation so valuable to the company. Alan's pride and joy is the Concorde Room, Terminal 7's most exclusive lounge.
How are you? Good afternoon.
Entries reserved for those willing to pay the price of a small car to fly first class.
A standard one-way fare from New York to London is just over $10,000. Our customer wants to walk into an area that feels like a sanctuary and doesn't feel like an airport. We have the whiskey bar, We have the vodka bar, and then my personal favourite, of course, is the champagne bar. If I was coming in here and making my choice, I think tonight I'd be going for the pink champagne, the Laurent Perrier. Of course, we have tenderloin, duck breast, sea bass, a vegetarian option, wild mushroom risotto, which is absolutely delicious. I had that last week. What we ensure is that everything is made with fresh ingredients. Customers want something fresh, simple, tasty.
The only thing missing from the Concorde room is Concorde.
If you cast your mind back a couple of decades, the glamorous era of flying supersonic Concorde, that would be parked right there, so the customers would be looking out onto the aircraft, step around the corner and board it directly from the lounge.
As the supersonic plane was only operated by Air France and BA, Concorde offered a competitive advantage.
Being part of the Concorde fleet generates a real sense of enthusiasm amongst the crew. The highest training standards and keen competition make them intensely proud of their professionalism.
It gave the company a huge feeling of superiority, which was underlined throughout training at the airline's base in Cranebank.
Maggie, what do you think your main learning point was from that session?
I imagine it's very important to know one's individual role and the role of one's colleagues in order to achieve the continuity of service.
But at the beginning of the new century, the era of supersonic travel came to an end. Air France had a disastrous crash, and 9/11 caused such a decline in the airline industry that Concorde became uneconomic to operate. But the airline's vision of service is still taught at Cranebank, just outside Heathrow. These cabin crew recruits are in the 5th week of a 6-week course. Selected from thousands of hopefuls, they've made it through the intensive safety and medical training.
What I normally do is make sure that I've got the long bit just here in my right hand.
Now they're getting ready for a new test, customer service. Alice Kennedy joined because of her love of planes.
I've always been an absolutely huge plane geek, so this has just been always like my dream job.
For Jodie Paris, it was the sense of adventure.
I want to see the world, and what a better way to do it working for British Airways.
But to achieve their dreams, they have to prove that they can serve the airline's most lucrative customers in its business class, known as Club World.
We do have very important customers in Club World. So if a customer asks you for something, just do it straight away. That will go a long way because it shows to them that you actually listened and then you care about them and their expectation.
Earning relatively low wages, few of the recruits would normally travel in such comfort.
I haven't actually flown in Club World, but my sister and brother-in-law have and love it.
When I think Club World, I think premium, I think luxury.
Like Jodie said, I just think it sounds posh, and you get a lot more, not just on the plane, but obviously before in the lounges and things like that.
But it's vital they learn how to communicate with this kind of customer.
You might find sometimes some resistance from customers because they're generally not used to be told what to do, and then suddenly they get on board an aeroplane and we tell them that they can't smoke, they can't use the mobile phones, they need to fasten a seatbelt, they need to put the seat upright. So it is very important how we gauge that conversation and the tone that we use as well.
As the face of the airline, cabin crew have to meet expectations. Discipline is key.
I'm going to take you upstairs to my office. I just need to have a quick chat with you.
Yeah,
all
that's
right?
fine.
Follow me.
During training, any failure to meet standards, from the wrong kind of makeup to lateness, receives what's called a snapshot warning.
I understand your frustration this morning. We are well aware that there is an incident on the M25 this morning. There was a lorry that was on fire, so we have got quite a few people that are running late. Because you were late, we are still going to give you a snapshot. right? Because punctuality is key to British Airways.
If a recruit accrues 4 snapshots, they're out. Closely under scrutiny is Jodie.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. I've got 3 snapshots.
Having done well in some of the medical training, she's finding this part of the course more difficult.
I've been focused throughout this whole course. Yeah, there have been like a few tiny hiccups, but not major behaviour problems, you know. Like I'm a good girl. I'm not a bad person.
With graduation only 10 days away, Jodie can't afford to put a foot wrong.
Or they go into a bit more detail about the quality of the food. So, for example,
Today, trainer Lesline Grant will be introducing the trainees to the airline's version of fine dining.
that affects the quality or the taste of the meat, how it's actually going to taste. What I'm saying is I'm not expecting you to walk down the aisle and have, you know, this is your Herefordshire beef. This is not just food. It's Club World food. No. But I am expecting you, the expectation is there for you to be able to describe that food to our customers effectively.
Recruits need to know what's on the menu, where it's from, and how to pronounce it.
Brioche is nice. Where? Brioche is like chocolate chips and bread.
Right, Peve, don't quite pronounce it. It's a chilled, rectangular mousse-based dish. It can be served sweet or savoury.
So it's not cheese?
No.
What is corn-fed chicken organic?
Basically, it's a chicken that's been fed corn. Sorry, it actually is.
At the airline, not all training happens in the classroom. 24-year-old law graduate Tom Cannell is heading to a special posting.
I'm off to the Big Apple for a year, New York.
Tom's being groomed as the next generation of manager.
Doesn't really go with this shirt, but hey ho.
And he's on his way to JFK to learn from the best.
There you go, BA cabin crew. The company's massive. They give you every opportunity to succeed. I don't know if I'll be the next Willie Walsh, but one day you never know.
But even graduate trainees sometimes need a little help.
It's the folding up that I'm not very good at, especially with shirts, so I guess Mum will have to help me. Come on, Mother.
With the hand.
Please. Can you fold that up, please?
You got all your underwear and everything? No.
I think the underwear are in the wash. And Jack's probably nicked a few as well. Jack's my brother, by the way.
On his way to his new job, Tom is flying on one of the company's most elite services, London City Airport to JFK.
It's just saying goodbye, it's never easy, is it? It's never easy.
With Concorde pensioned off to airplane museums, this A318 has taken over its flight number and call sign, Speedbird 001. It flies at half the speed, but it's as close to a private jet as the airline can manage and boasts only 32 seats. A return ticket on this flight will cost upwards of £3,000. And that means a rack of lamb to rival Tom's mother's roast.
The sort of money these people are paying to just fly to New York, it's incredible. It's the sort of money I dream of. I went shopping with my parents before I come, and I spent about £500 or so, and that emptied my bank balance very much.
Around 25 million passengers arrive at JFK every year. Its latest arrival is about to meet his new boss.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Welcome.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Tom. Very well, thank you. When the customers come in, the lounges are right here with the exception of the Concorde room will go up. I'll just show you.
Alan will be taking Tom under his wing as he shows him how to run an airport.
Good morning, konnichiwa. Morning, ladies. Good morning, how are you?
We'll wait a couple more moments just in case anybody else is going to join, but in the meantime, I would like to introduce Tom Cannell.
Tom's biggest challenge will be working with Alan's 500-strong team. Many have several decades more experience than him.
So we finally got the approval from the Port Authority to replace the 2 escalators going from the departures level down to the arrivals level. Don't try and walk onto Jet Bridge number 4 because it isn't there.
The door has to be closed for the jet bridge to be operated. There's no one that...
Alan's first lesson for Tom is how to handle a room full of New Yorkers who are not shy with their opinions.
The first class and the business class baggage. I always hear the first class passenger say, "Oh, I'm expedited through immigration, but now I have to wait for this bag."
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Those cans that are designated first class should be the first cans off, followed by the business class cans.
We get the brunt of it. I was told off royally the other day by a business class passenger. They think they're standing there too long, and they do not like it. And running back and forth first in business class, trying to get them to come with you, and some of them hesitate because they don't know where you're taking them.
You know, your point is not only well taken, it is something that we are absolutely aware that we need to improve significantly on. It takes the right kind of person to have the confidence to be able to guide one of those customers around. You know, they guide a company with 20,000 employees, and then one of our team has to guide them around to an area that they're not familiar with.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I've been in the States now for 15 years. It doesn't really matter how challenging things are. I'm always going to be open and honest. It's my style. I think that's what's taken me through British Airways for the last 23 years and brought me to this position. People get what they see. I'm very, very honest, I'm very open, and I like to engage in people. People are fascinating.
Just outside London is the company's headquarters at Waterside.
Willie, good to see you. Good to see you.
Airline boss Willie Walsh is meeting with Chinese bankers.
Once the signing is done, I was going to hand the aircraft model to Mr. Walsh.
He's on a mission to strengthen ties with China as the business eyes expansion.
It's critical for British Airways. China's the second biggest economy in the world. I think in terms of opportunity, it's limitless, to be honest with you.
1, 2...
Already behind the competition, Willie knows how critical it is to pull off Chengdu.
We're not as big in China as we should be, so getting this right for British Airways is very important.
With so much at stake, the airline's determined to put the right face on things.
Pull forward. Your side's got to go down.
Yeah.
So, in a Heathrow hangar, the Boeing 777 that's due to make the first flight to Chengdu is receiving a special paint job.
So this place is called Chengdu, isn't it?
Chengdu.
Chengdu.
Chengdu, isn't it?
Is it Chengdu or Chengdu?
Chengdu.
The plane will be flying to China painted as the official mascot of Chengdu, the panda.
You got it?
You've seen it.
Ah.
5,000 miles away in a Chengdu shopping centre, an attempt's being made to combine a sense of the airline's Britishness with some local flavours, all mixed up in a dance spectacular. During rehearsals, choreographer Jin Ta-nan is struggling slightly to try and realise her vision. If her dreams are realised, the end result should be ranks of panda mascots dressed as just about anything that might be considered British, from Harry Potter to Premiership footballers, and inevitably, the royal family. To really deliver the sell, the airline's also drafted in its own brand ambassadors, pilots and cabin crew who've swapped a day of flying for smiling. The hope is the event will be so eye-catching, the Chengdu public will be inspired to take pictures of the extravaganza and add to the event's official post on China's version of Twitter Weibo, with its 700 million users. At home in the UK, the airline's been around for years, but in China, it's just another Western brand trying to stand out.
Yeah, it went really well. Quite happy with that. I think it all pulled off quite well. Everyone seemed to enjoy it around here. Good crowd, good turnout. So yeah, it was really good. There's a lot of pandas about though. A lot of pandas.
British Airways.
At his home in Hong Kong, the company's airport manager for China, Wyman, is juggling setting up the new route to Chengdu with keeping the existing operation running smoothly. Hong Kong is the airline's foothold in China. It's part of the colonial furniture, a legacy of empire. It's been flying here for as long as there's been intercontinental air travel.
We're just going to see the cabin cleaning activities.
It's Wyman's job to match British expectations with Chengdu staff who've limited experience of international airline standards.
Planes are actually quite filthy. 400 people confined in a tube. They've had 2 meals. It's not a pleasant sight. But once we turn this aircraft around, once it's all cleaned, it's spotless. Chengdu, they don't have as many international flights as Hong Kong does. So they're not so experienced with dealing with long-haul aircraft, and their teams are not as big as what we'd like. That's why we have some of our people going to Chengdu to support the cabin cleaning teams there.
As well as his clean-up operation, Wyman's also got a tasting for the menu for the Chengdu route.
Yes, a dessert.
It's being devised by chef Gwendol Ammon.
On the far end over there, we'll have first class, Club World, and World Traveller. We developed 3 rotations of food. So on any one flight, there would be probably more than 85 dishes.
Chengdu is the capital of Sichuan province, with a cuisine famed for mouth-numbing pepper, pig intestines, and duck's blood.
It's quite spicy. There's a kick to this.
That's
Quick
now,
kick.
yeah.
You put it in the mouth and it kicks you straight away.
Having been raised partly in China and partly in Essex, Wyman knows the tastes of both.
I haven't found a favourite Sichuan dish yet because I find them too hot. It's probably from my time in the UK. My personal taste would be I would prefer bangers and mash. There's a lot of ginger flavour to this. Yeah.
And this is just a little hint of a green chili oil. Do you think a Chinese customer would enjoy that?
I think to them the taste would take some getting used to because of the aniseed.
Yeah.
It seems to me that we kind of struck the right balance between having a Western and a Chinese choice. Let's hope they can replicate this back in Chengdu. In China, things are not always as consistent as in Hong Kong.
With only 2 weeks left before the launch of Chengdu, Wyman is feeling the pressure.
You don't want to be scary to your team, but you know sometimes you have to be. I think every manager has to have a bit of scary streak around him to get things moving.
For an airport manager, handling stress is part of the job.
Sometimes I have sleepless nights trying to cover all the angles. It's part of my character as well. To show responsibility, it's all part of the job. And I wouldn't be doing my job correctly if I'd say I don't care.
In New York, trainee airport manager Tom is trying to dress the part.
Well, having seen Alan's dress sense, I've got a lot to live up to, so I'm trying my best here. He's a very dapper looking guy and dresses very smartly, so I'll try my best. Right, this is always a challenge to get the tie right. No. Take two.
But the tie is the least of Tom's problems. With JFK suffering one of its worst winters on record, today's not going to be an easy ride.
What I like to do is just keep updated with the National Weather Service and see what they're forecasting. As we go into the evening, rain and sleet before 10, blustery, 22-mile-an-hour winds, another 3 to 5 inches of snow. This is quite severe. We need to make sure that we're able to bring our aircraft in safely, offload bags, cargo, the customers safely, and we have done some tactical delaying of services and some tactical cancellations. I have 4 flights that I've taken out of the program today. They won't come in from London and they will not depart from Kennedy.
Running the operation at Terminal 7 means Alan has to keep track of all possible diversions to his planes.
And the captain was just thinking about diverting, and he gave JFK a heads up.
There's really nothing available to him until he goes down into probably Florida, and that does not make sense to divert into Orlando or Miami, which for the East currently are the diversion points.
If they do divert, they'll either get stuck there or it'll be a fuel and go, because there are no hotel rooms available for the customers or even the crew.
With flights cancelled and delays due, it means passengers will be looking to the team for solutions. With the pressure on, Tom needs to prove he can take charge.
Thanks, Robin. Copy.
On a challenging day like today, it is critical for Tom to engage the experts. Your success is based on engaging the people that have been through this numerous times before. When asking for their support, they will guide you, assist you, and help you succeed.
The only issues we may have is subject to gate space, weather, and what runways they're landing on. It may take an extra time coming out to the gate, so the departures might be just a little later than we predict. Anything else? No? Tom?
Customers are going to come in a little bit anxious, a little bit worried to know whether their flights are going to depart or not. Just reassure them, share information with them, the big smiles, the big welcome, uniform standards, obviously, just make sure you're looking tip-top.
I love that expression. Tip-top. What movie is that from? Top. Love it.
It's always a challenge to get the respect of people that a lot of the times double my age. And I'm managing people that are my mum and dad's age.
No, thank you for doing that. You're doing a good job. Do you mind just letting people know about the duty-free?
Which can be challenging at times to get that respect. Everyone that works here, all the staff, they've been through thick and thin.
Oh, really? No, I didn't hear it. Well...
One area I need to improve on that is toughening up a little bit. I probably sometimes am too nice.
You are going to have to be tough here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're going to have to be resilient. There are going to be times when you're going to have to take a probably tougher stance than you are comfortable with, or that's natural to, to the way that you deal and interact with people.
While Alan is trying to toughen Tom up, at Waterside, the mood is lightening in cabin crew training. It's time for a drink. Trainer Nadine Phelan is introducing them to the wine list, the airline's secret weapon when it comes to giving a sense of class.
So our session this afternoon is our premium service wine masterclass. It can be overwhelming for some of our delegates. They may not have had that much experience tasting wine, and perhaps it's not a drink of their choice.
The course is testing all the senses as the recruits try to guess the differences between the various kinds.
Look at the colour. Tell me, what colour do you think this is? So that should already start to narrow down what grape variety you think it is.
Alice is enjoying getting her nose stuck in.
Cherry.
The more you smell it, the more the flavours change.
But 20-year-old Jodie's finding the etiquette confusing.
Is that the proper way to taste wine, by making that sound?
Jodie, there is no proper taste. It's however
you and
feel
Leslie both did it. I don't like wine. I'm interested in it, but not the drinking side. It'd be nice to, you know, be able to recommend wines to customers and be able to say, like this wine would complement this food, and like learn about dessert wines, things like that. But wine tasting and drinking wine is not for me now.
I want you to try and smell the bouquet of the wine. So try and keep the glass very still. Anything else?
Jodie's not the only one finding the wine a bit overwhelming.
Well, I'm a bit weird, and I drink red wine with Diet Coke. So you probably don't know that for me. Try it, don't knock it.
That is so weird.
It is beautiful.
So, hedge your bets, ladies and gents. What do we think?
New World.
You think it's a Merlot?
That's the Sauvignon, I think. But it's quite sharp.
That it is actually a New World Cabernet Sauvignon.
Your nose is right. Must have been the conflicting.
It's the evening rush at JFK, and the delays caused by the snow are biting.
Do you need a hand, or you okay? Have a nice flight.
Tom has to keep people moving and bring calm to a potentially chaotic situation.
Yeah, John, how come it says boarding on there? Does it always do that?
Despite the severity of the cold weather,
oh, right, okay.
The ground staff outside take it in their stride to do everything possible to prevent further delays and stop the situation for Tom's passengers inside getting more heated.
Weather conditions determine how long a plane can sit after it's been de-iced and anti-iced and still be safe to leave.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can use all gates of fast track. Anyone for fast track business first? Are you? Yeah, absolutely, sir. Have a nice flight, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Just to confirm that I've inspected your aircraft after de-icing and everything is satisfactory.
Dealing with the snow may be new to Tom, but for the New Yorkers, it's all part of the job.
We get, 6 or 7 inches of snow, nobody blinks an eye, it's just everybody keeps going. Heathrow, everything kind of grinds down to a stop.
Whatever the weather, no incident is too big or small to escape Alan's attention.
Miguel, this is Alan. I'm at the entrance for the duty-free shop, just at the top of the escalators, and somebody's spilled potato chips on the floor. Thank you so much. It comes all the way out. JCM will be coming as well. So if you can get the worst, that'd be really appreciated. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening.
As the night wears on, Tom turns to the experience of the terminal's veterans, like Linda Strang.
Do you mind just doing a quick announcement for the 182 just to keep people up to date?
Oh, I did. I said
times?
midnight. Is that the most up to date?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do another one.
Yeah, if you could, with regards to connections in London, you know the job.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do apologise, but due to late arrival of the inbound aircraft, our new departure time is approximately midnight. The aircraft is here. 18 years in reservation sitting killed my back. 10.5 years out here has done my legs and my feet in. And the whole 28.5 years together has done my head in. There'll be nothing left. They'll just toss me out when it's all over. But I feel like the time has been well spent. I enjoy it. I like my job. I like what I do. I like dealing with people. And I think that's the challenge here when you're very time constricted and you've only got them there for, 10, 15 seconds. Luckily, I talk fast. And you have a little bit of a play with them, a little bit of give and take. The ones that don't want to, you just let them go. But most people really, they want to be dealt with as an individual.
Give me a kiss, give me a kiss.
And JFK has no shortage of characters passing through.
Weirdness comes and goes every day. You can't stop it. Either the passenger wants to be helped or they're just weird. Excuse me 1 second, please. Ticketing, Joanne.
Over the last 18 years, veteran Joanne Brown has had to deal with just about everything. Tonight, it's the turn of Mr. and Mrs. Pierce, who've missed their connection.
Lovely girl like you, and I'm way over there.
Who is this lady to you?
That's my wife.
Watch it then.
Okay.
Watch it. Watch it. None of that. Right, Sandra?
You got it.
All right. So now, let's see.
So we're going for a wedding, and we're meeting my sister and her husband. And
what day is the wedding?
The wedding, thank God, isn't right away.
Hello, this is Joanne from British Airways ticketing at JFK. I have 2 passengers here. They've missed their connection, and I need them to be booked.
For Joanne, the benefit of experience is knowing the right calls to make.
This woman is fantastic. I mean, you can't even imagine what she has done.
When you arrive tomorrow, just tell them that your bags will be downstairs. Just show them the person is in trouble. You ease them first, ease their minds at first, so you can let them know that you basically are here to help them. So once they know that, they kind of relax. When they realize that you're just there to help them, they're kind of easygoing and they'll smile anyway. And then when you absolutely do help them, sugar on top.
That's lovely. Have a very good trip, sir.
At Heathrow's Terminal 5, the first passengers to fly direct from London to Chengdu are checking in.
Hello, sir. How are you today? Good, thank you. Good. That's lovely. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Just take yourself down the escalator. Do take a look at the front of the aircraft, sir, because it has a panda's face. Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you.
Joining the flight will be airline boss Willie Walsh.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walsh.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So I'm off to Chengdu.
Oh, lovely.
It's his role to add a little clout to proceedings.
Excited about this?
Yeah, it should be good, sure. Okay.
Bye-bye.
With the Chinese tourist market worth millions for the UK, it's vital that plans go smoothly. The 5,000-mile flight will take 11 hours and will run 3 times a week between London and Chengdu. At the other end, Chengdu is waiting to greet the Panda plane with a characteristic layer of smog.
This is the inaugural flight's parking bay. We've been assigned 104. There's only 2 parking bays at this airport that can accommodate wide-bodied aircraft, and this is one of them.
Wyman and his deputy Benny are keen to make sure that absolutely nothing goes wrong with the aircraft's arrival. On the plane, their boss Willie is accompanied by a pack of journalists. Attending the red carpet event are the brand ambassadors, immaculately turned out and smiling, of course. And the obligatory pandas are also being lined up.
So 1 panda, 2 panda, 2 panda, 1.
It's better to have the pandas there at the
Yeah,
end.
but the problem is we've got 2, is it 1 panda, 2 panda, 2 panda, 1. It would work better with 1 on either end.
When the plane arrives, it has to turn around in 2 hours to fly its first load of Chengdu tourists to London. But Wyman's got a problem. The internet's faulty, so check-in's not working.
Currently the systems are down, trying to resolve it. We may need to call London. We can't get access to our check-in system. Obviously it's not a good time to have your systems outage when the flight's 2 hours away.
With his boss about to fly in, it's the last thing Wyman needs. Three days from graduation, it's the customer service exam for the cabin crew recruits.
My hat and waistcoat in the car. Your hat and waistcoat are in the car. Okay, can you go and get them?
Today they'll be tested on all they've learned about food and drink over the last 2
Just
weeks.
go back to the galley every time and just cross it off and then say, is everyone happy? Well, what are we doing next?
Trainer Cy Jones will be examining.
The group with Alice, Sophie and Nikita are just about to go in and do a Club Europe service for us.
So John is your child. You've ordered a child meal. It's not being catered, so you're not happy about this.
The rest of the group are acting as customers for them.
And then we've got a nervous flyer. Amy, you're going to be nervous.
And throw a few snags in there, and again, it's just to see, have they got what it takes to be British Airways cabin crew? Do they understand Club Europe service? How do they talk to our customers? Are they using premium language? Are they presenting our drinks in an appropriate way?
Crikey, what is that?
That's a Chardonnay.
This is really about, have they listened for the last couple of weeks and taken on board everything we've said?
Hello there. Welcome on board today. Follow the aisle down there, take a left and you're on the road there on the left. Thank you very much.
One of the teams playing the role of a blind passenger.
Hi there, Mrs. Taylor. It's Alice and Sophie here. Can we offer you anything to drink today?
Yes, please. I would love to have a Diet Coke.
OK. I'm just going to put the Coke to the 2 o'clock position there, OK?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
With so much riding on it, Alice is nervous.
Honestly, we thought it was a disaster. So we are slightly anxious now as to what is coming next and what the outcome will be.
In another room, the trainers assess the performance.
She looks the part. In the cabin, she had a perfect premium language, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought she was really good with the customers.
What I would like Alice to work on is some of her terminology. She said to the customer, would you like a Diet Coke or a full fat Coke?
Oops.
So where I see Alice, I would probably put down as developing. Not for the way she looks, but again for the terminology she's using in the cabin.
Alice has passed the test,
Yes, we are.
but Jodie has been summoned to an important meeting.
Jodie was asked on 4 occasions to reapply lipstick. So if a customer had seen Jodie looking the way she was presenting herself, it doesn't come across as if she's taking care in her appearance. And if she's not taking care in her appearance, which is just a basic standard, then where are we going to be when we're on board the aircraft?
I've been trying so hard. If the instruction was clear, I would have put it on before I left the classroom.
It's not so much about the uniform, it's more looking at the bigger picture of things. Is Jodie ready to go online yet? Is she ready to be actually with our customers?
It's over. 3 days to go. 3 days.
We do pride ourselves on our standards, and we know our customers come to expect a lot from us at British Airways. So we don't want to come across as being harsh. We don't want to come across as being strict. We just want to maintain those standards that we come to expect from all of our colleagues. Unfortunately, on this occasion, Jodie hasn't met the criteria required for British Airways cabin crew. Almost there, but just not quite. All right, look after yourself. All right.
5.5 weeks after she arrived as a trainee, and without returning to the classroom, Jodie's departing, her dreams for now on hold. It's a new morning at JFK, and the snow seems to be holding off. It's welcome news for Alan.
Thanks a lot, Anita. I'll see you soon. See you at noon. Bye. We expect to be able to operate all of our services this evening and hopefully on schedule.
British Airways 114 is paging the...
Having earned his stripes, Tom's being left to handle the operation this evening.
Oh, fine.
I am indeed. How's it going?
Yeah, great. Just had the 6 o'clock, and now we're just going to go through the ground check-in, premium area. Just check on that, and then go through to the 112.
Okay, and the 112, we've got a passenger offload?
Yeah.
It seems to have gone through pretty well, actually.
Yeah, it's running smoothly at the minute, which is,
okay.
Hopefully it stays that way.
It will. Trust me, it will. You've got Linda here, you've got everybody else here.
Exactly, yeah.
Call me if you need anything.
Yeah, I will do.
Okay, have a good night.
Alan. Yeah,
take care.
Thanks. Bye, Alan. Oh, would anyone in fast chat, would you like to come through? We're just going to bring fast track for, all right, sorry about the wait. If you're travelling in World Traveller, it's this queue, OK. Alan's very knowledgeable, he's been in the job a long time, always looked the part. One thing he's definitely taught me is you set down the rules from the start and you set down what your expectations are from staff. So at the end of the day, they know where the line is and they know not to cross a line, and they know that I'm passionate about customer service and Alan is passionate about customer service, so we share that. I try anyway. I'm not as dapper as Alan, I always say that, but I give it a go.
Because of the previous night's cancellations, there are more passengers tonight than originally expected.
Originally we were, but then we were.
Good. It's a pleasure.
Tom has to explain to some customers that the seats they booked aren't available.
Unfortunately, because the loads are busy in the class that you were in, what they have to do is sometimes downgrade people. I'm sure that's already been explained to you. If I were you, there's snow forecast in the next hour or so.
So it could disrupt my flight.
I'd take that option.
The really annoying thing is that my best friend was the skipper on the flight.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Thank you very much.
A lot of the passengers are stressed. There's all the time constraints. You're just dealing with so much, and often you have to deal with it very quickly. Maybe there are people out there that want easy jobs that they can coast through. I never did. I don't have kids. I don't want kids. This is my baby.
Okay, I've got a gentleman here.
Yes.
Who says that he was promised a seat in World Traveller Plus.
Okay. Ooh, that is unlucky.
Yeah.
Not ideal. Is it this gentleman here?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'll do. Hi, sir, how you doing? Very sorry for the inconvenience. We'll make sure we're looked after, OK? Cheers.
It may be a stressful business, but Tom seems to be getting into the swing of it.
Good job, Joe Davy. 8 p.m. to bag room. Just wanted to say good job on the 172 getting those bags on. Thanks for that. But all in all, that was very smooth. Boarding team did a great job. As always, they're smiling, welcoming customers, which is what we want. And customers look pleased. So at the end of the day, it was a good job done. I can't do it.
The Panda plane has arrived in Chengdu. The new route has taken 10 months to plan and more than 100 people to pull it off. For Willie, it's a grand entrance in China. While his boss poses for the cameras, Wyman is focused on the turnaround. As the press pack moves on, and with his internet problems over, it's time for Wyman and his new team to ready the plane for its Chengdu passengers.
Cleaners are on, catering's coming on now, and this is where the real work starts. It's just a sense of relief to see the aircraft land, Willie come off, and he looked happy, so, you know, if he's happy, we're all happy.
You look about 10 years younger than you did about half an hour ago.
Yeah, things build up, you see, and there's the climax and there's the anti-climax.
But the festivities aren't over yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight.
There's time for a gala dinner to woo the city's dignitaries, with every British cliché in the book.
I think when you look at BA, Britishness is a very important part of its DNA. We are a British company. We espouse British traditions, promote Britishness.
And, you know, the Chinese people are loving it.
I've never seen a Chinese person blow a bat, so you always learn something new each day.
Yeah.
Sadly for Wyman, the only thing not British is the food.
I was hoping for a bit of Western. I've had too much Sichuan food these 2 weeks.
What were you wanting? Fish and chips?
Yeah, pie and chips. Yeah.
Not KFC.
At the airline's headquarters, the remaining cabin crew recruits have something to celebrate.
Welcome to British Airways Mixed Fleet cabin crew, and congratulations for completing your 6 weeks initial trip.
You ready? Look at the cameras.
This whole course has been quite a challenge for me, just with everything else. It honestly really has been such an achievement.
I'm laughing and crying at the same time.
But the sense of pressure won't necessarily stop here.
There's so many people that want this job. There's so many people that this is their, you know, their dream. So I don't think I'll be looking over my shoulder, but I certainly won't be like I was at other airlines. Can't be bothered putting my donut in, so it'll be a ponytail today. It's not going to happen.
I'm just so relieved. There are times on the course where you think, are we ever going to get to the end? Can't believe it's all done. So yeah, it's just looking forward to the future now.
I have a triangular bandage.
2 days later, and Alice's plane-spotting dreams have become a professional reality.
Good morning, lovely, thank you.
Her first flight as cabin crew is to Vienna. At Heathrow, as one flight leaves, another arrives. At Terminal 5, a load of Chengdu tourists have just landed. They're the end result of all of Wyman's hard work.
A lot of challenges along the way, but we've managed to overcome those challenges, and we've come out very well, I would say. And we're schooled in the school of hard knocks.
那个火车站那个地方有没有？
哪一个火车站？哦，国王十字火车站，你们哈利波特那个是不是？你们没有去？没有。没有去。那个，如果想去的话，可能要放弃这个哈罗德百货公司。
I think that every business needs to be flexible enough to change, to remain competitive, to remain profitable. And if that means switching your focus from one city to the next, one area to the next, I think you have to be nimble.
英国人呢，事实上酒吧是跟他们生活的一部分。酒吧呢，在古时候他们叫做 pub。
And Chengdu is the start of a new era for British Airways. 10 years from now, I'll be very disappointed if BA hasn't opened at least another 4 or 5, maybe even 6 cities in China.
In London, the Chengdu tourists stop for a meal in Chinatown. In the coming years, part of BA's and the UK's growth will depend on their appetite for all things British.
有一本世界最薄的一本书，这本书呢就是英国的餐牌，英国食品的餐牌是世界最薄的，因为它里面没有什么东西吃。
Next time, the challenges of being based at the world's most congested airport.
Actually, sir, it's not all right because the flight's closed for check-in.
Apparently there's a firearm inside this bag.
An unexpected find in baggage causes problems.
All the delays cost the company money.
And the airline trains its first new cadet pilots for a decade.
To fall at the last hurdle would be a nightmare, and it would be sort of career over.